Hi, this is Kirk with the Wellness Elevation channel. In a world full of quick fixes and magic pills, the real leverage in health isn't found in hacks or trends. It's found in your cellular energy system. What if one of the most powerful tools for health and longevity wasn't a stimulant or a crash diet, but a signal that speaks directly to the power plants inside your cells? Today we're going to talk about Mots-c, a small peptide written into your mitochondrial DNA, and why it's becoming one of the most interesting molecules in metabolic health, performance, and longevity. This video is for education and entertainment only, is not medical advice, and is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition. Research peptides are not approved for human or veterinary use. Always speak with a qualified healthcare professional about your own health and medical decisions. A lot of content online treats peptides like a menu of magic potions, one for fat loss, one for sleep, one for muscle, but peptides are not spells. They are signals. A peptide is essentially a short protein message your body uses to instruct cells what to do. Turn this pathway on, turn that pathway down, repair here, burn fuel there. If you don't understand the system, the wiring, the energy grid, the cellular economy, then adding random signals makes about as much sense as smashing buttons on a supercomputer and hoping for the best. Mots-c is interesting because it doesn't just tweak a small pathway, it talks to the core energy machinery that everything else depends on, your mitochondria. To understand Mots-c, we have to start with ATP, adenosine triphosphate. ATP is the energy currency of your body. Every thought, every heartbeat, every muscle contraction, every repair process, every hormone signal, it all costs ATP. Want to think clearly? That's ATP. Recover from a workout or injury, ATP. Run your immune system, ATP. Maintain hormone balance, sleep, mood, memory, ATP. Again, if ATP supply drops, repair slows, resilience drops, recovery is delayed, systems start to fail. It feels like getting older, but underneath, it's often simply running low on energy at the cellular level. So what are mitochondria? They are cellular power plants. ATP is made in your mitochondria. Your mitochondria takes the food you eat, combine it with the oxygen you breathe, and convert it into usable ATP. Over time, because of age, stress, diet, toxins, illness, and inactivity, mitochondria often become less efficient, leak more electrons, produce more reactive oxygen species, which is like cellular exhaust, and make less ATP. This combination, lower ATP and higher oxidative stress, sits at the root of fatigue, brain fog, poor recovery, metabolic disease, faster aging. This is exactly the problem Mots-c was designed by your own biology to help address. What makes Mots-c unique? Most peptides are encoded in nuclear DNA, which is the DNA in the cell nucleus. Mots-c is different. It's encoded in your mitochondrial DNA. That means it's not foreign, it's not synthetic alien software, it's native code, a built-in program your body already knows how to use. You can think of Mots-c as a mitochondrial signal that says, wake up, tighten up the production line, stop wasting fuel, start making ATP efficiently again. Rather than acting like a drug that forces one receptor, it acts more like a command that restores efficient energy handling across cells. How Mots-c works, AMPK, the master energy sensor. The primary pathway Mots-c influences is AMPK, or AMP-activated protein kinase. AMPK is like a universal energy sensor in every cell. It monitors the ATP situation. When energy is low, AMPK turns on. When it turns on, it shifts the body from storing energy to using energy. When AMPK is activated, cells increase fat oxidation or burn more fat for fuel, pull more glucose out of the bloodstream and into cells, improve insulin sensitivity, support mitochondrial biogenesis, which builds new mitochondria. Mots-c activates AMPK in a very powerful way. Instead of gently suggesting the cell use more fuel, it essentially forces a shift toward greater glucose uptake, more efficient fuel use, more ATP with less waste. Then there is insulin sensitivity, a core marker of youth. In children and young adults, insulin sensitivity is usually high. They can handle carbohydrates without major blood sugar swings. Their muscles readily absorb glucose. They burn fuel quickly and efficiently. As people age, compounded by poor diet and inactivity, insulin signaling often breaks down. Blood sugar runs higher. Cells stop responding properly to insulin. Inflammation rises, hormones like testosterone and thyroid can be disrupted, cortisol can stay chronically elevated. This is the beginning of metabolic syndrome and type 2 diabetes. By activating AMPK and improving glucose uptake into muscle and liver cells, Mots-c helps restore insulin sensitivity. Glucose is cleared more effectively, blood sugar stabilizes, downstream hormonal balance becomes easier to maintain. This isn't a superficial effect, it's a deep metabolic reset at the cellular level. When it comes to brain and cognitive function, your brain is one of the most energy-hungry organs in your body. At rest, it uses about 20% of your total energy. When mitochondrial output slows, neurons feel the energy shortage first. You may experience brain fog, slower recall, harder time focusing, mood instability. By improving mitochondrial efficiency and ATP output, Mots-c supports cleaner synaptic firing, reduced oxidative stress in neurons, more stable neurotransmitter cycling. The result can be sharper focus, better memory, more stable mood, not because of a stimulant effect, but because the engine itself is running more smoothly. Now let's talk about sleep and mitochondria. Restorative sleep is strongly mitochondrial. The hypothalamus and brainstem, which help regulate circadian rhythm and sleep architecture, have a high density of mitochondria. When those mitochondria are not functioning well, sleep becomes shallow and fragmented. Transitions between REM and deep sleep are disrupted. You wake up feeling unrefreshed. By lowering oxidative stress and improving energy handling in these regions, Mots-c helps to support more stable neurotransmitters like GABA and serotonin, healthier sleep architecture, deeper, more restorative sleep. Again, this is not acting as a sedative, it's enabling the brain to run its natural sleep programs more effectively. Lastly, Mots-c and aging, mitochondrial decline. A simple way to think about aging is aging, progressive mitochondrial decline. As ATP output drops, DNA damage accumulates faster, inflammatory signaling becomes chronic, so the body becomes more vulnerable to disease, injury, and degeneration. Mots-c targets this upstream. It increases mitochondrial biogenesis by building new, efficient mitochondria. It improves the efficiency of existing mitochondria. It reduces excessive reactive oxygen species production. This provides energy for DNA repair mechanisms, stress resistance, maintaining function rather than simply managing decline. In other words, Mots-c isn't about looking younger in photos, it's about running your biology at a higher functional level for longer. Now, lifestyle still matters. Even with powerful mitochondrial signals, fundamentals still matter. Mitochondria are harmed by poor sleep equals less nightly mitochondrial repair. Chronic stress equals constant cortisol, constant overdrive. Sedentary lifestyle equals fewer new mitochondria are made. Overtraining without recovery equals excess ROS, insufficient repair. High sugar plus seed oils equals oxidative damage, insulin resistance. Micronutrient deficiencies equals stalled electron transport chain. Certain medications and environmental toxins equals direct mitochondrial impairment. Mots-c may help correct and buffer some of this damage, but it doesn't replace good sleep, reasonable stress management, movement and exercise, nutrient-dense food. Reducing unnecessary toxin exposure. Signals work best in a system that's not being constantly overloaded. What's the final takeaway? Mots-c is not a magic peptide. It's far more interesting than that. It's physiology. It is encoded in your own mitochondrial DNA, a native signal designed to support energy production, a powerful activator of AMPK and metabolic efficiency, a tool that can influence insulin sensitivity, inflammation, brain function, sleep quality, tissue repair, and the aging process through the common denominator of ATP and mitochondrial health. Rather than chasing 10 different things for 10 different symptoms, Mots-c focuses on the one upstream system that all of them depend on, your cellular energy production. Understanding how your mitochondria work and how molecules like Mots-c influence them is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward real lasting health. So where does all of this leave you? The big idea is simple. If you support your mitochondria, you support everything else. If you found this helpful and want more deep dives on peptides, mitochondria, and metabolic health, Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment with what you'd like to see next. The more you understand your own biology, the more power you have to change it